Alrighty then, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome one and all. My name is Michael. I'm the Dead Gamer, and welcome to Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Curse of the Crimson Throne, our Pathfinder 1st Edition adventure, which has been converted to 2nd Edition for these wonderful and incredible people you can see on screen. Guys, say hello to the folks at home.
Hello.
Yeah, it's so good to see you all. We do have some missing members. Oh, wait 1 second. Let me just make our lovely Mally a little bit bigger. There we go. Boom. Yes, we do have some missing members today. Laura Bones and Cass are unable to join us today, but we wish them all the best and hope to see them soon. For now, however, we are still embarking on our adventure with these incredible people, and I can't wait to dive into today's game. But before we do so, we, of course, have some people to thank, and that is, of course, our sponsors, the guys who help us keep the lights on here and do all the cool stuff, make us look semi-professional, and yeah, just, you know, have a bunch of cool stuff that I think you guys should, like, just know about in general. So, starting off, we have none other than our amazing friends over at Hero Forge. For the wonderful artwork you can see on screen here, all of the character tokens are used using a Michael English, good, speak now properly, please, thank you. Embarrassing self is, guy, come on. Anyway, these amazing tokens are made using a bespoke 3D model making software that allows you to design, create, and produce said tokens using their software. And in addition to that, you can have these models 3D printed and shipped to you anywhere in the world. Of course, you know, with some, you know, ifs and ums and ohs and ahs regarding tariffs, but nonetheless, still some very, very high quality and amazing work that you can use to bring your games to life, create as a memento for the campaigns that you have online, or, like myself, use as miniatures for your campaign as well. So yeah, go check out Hero Forge. We then have Sirenscape for the wonderful sound effects you'll hear throughout the course of the game, because every epic game deserves to sound epic as well. So we have a ton of really cool and amazing sound effects that go into immersing my players into the adventure as we play. And then we have Fantasy Grounds, which brings us all together on a virtual space to allow us to play games and connect with people all over the world. It is an amazing kit that allows me to be very quick and very fluid on my feet as a GM, and has a ton of references that are constantly updating so that I can always stay at the cutting edge of what I need to in order to make my players enjoy the games that we are playing. So yeah, go check these guys out. Now, of course, while this story involves your game master navigating and weaving a narrative for their players, without the player characters, we would have no such tale to tell. So to tell you about the characters that they're going to be playing, I'm going to throw the ball over to my players now, starting with none other than our dear friend, Malakisa.
Hi, everybody. So I play Holly, and Holly has a dog named Penny, and Zeppelin would like to stand in for Penny. Holly is a fairy noble who, when it became time to do the thing that female nobles have to do, which is get married and carry on the bloodline, she had read lots of adventure books as opposed to paying attention to her tutors, and decided she wanted to have adventure of her own. So she left the Feywild and decided to come to Corvosa. And it turns out that real life is very, very different than the books. And she learned that slowly and painfully over the course of several of the books in this particular series. And she started out as a rogue, and in the process of trying to save a bunch of orphans from the plague, ended up having to sell her soul to Asmodeus, and is now an Asmodean cleric. And then in her completely untraumatized and normal childhood upbringing with no weirdness whatsoever, her former fiance came back and murdered her entire family, and now she actually is out for revenge, which hopefully will be coming after we defeat Queen Iliosa. So that's Holly.
Yeah, Marcus. I'm playing Unok, the dragon-slaying orc barbarian from Belgzin. He joined the party after just kind of letting one of their previous members, aka my previous character, dying. Um, Joined to potentially fight a dragon, and he did in fact fight a dragon 3 times, and it damn near killed them all. And Now he is just hoping that the next dragon they come across does not do the whole come back to life 3 times, because he does he doesn't think he has that much rage in him to fully take it out again.
Dante,
And
do we have a Rykon?
He says
Rykon!
it is being loud again.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Maybe. Or he's just snuck away because he's not on camera, cheeky fuck. He's just like, doop de doop de doop. You know what? Psh, we're on stream. Who gives a shit? You fucking just, yeah, I'm gonna go. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go make myself a mac and cheese and stuff my face. Oh, ribs. That's what I can eat while I'm not on camera. I can eat ribs. No one can see me
He did
stuff
say
my
he was making mac and cheese before the game.
See, I told you. Freaking this guy. We're at game time,
Also
and where is
said
he?
His roommate's being loud right now, so he may not be able to get on the mic.
Lies! I don't know, I'm just teasing him. Anyway, Rykon, aka Dante, is a kitsune druid from the town of Corvosa who had lost their friend to the unfortunate drug trade that existed in the underbelly of the city. Vowing to avenge his friend, they managed to take out one of the suppliers of said drug that is moving through the streets, but there is still more constantly being distributed. This incredible character is taking his time to basically help his allies and bring peace to the town that was so important to his dear friend, and I think he's done a very, very good job keeping his friends and allies safe in the time since losing his previous companion. That is Dante.
which brings us to Ray, played by me, Steve. And Steve, the player, is going to apologize in advance because hay fever has decided to create challenges for me. So if I suddenly mute or fail to mute and blow your eardrums out with a cough, I apologize in advance. Anyways, Ray is a little Tanuki champion of Milani, who is one of the rebels within the city of Corvosa, fighting to get rid of the nasty queen and all of her minions that are making our lives hell. And has fallen in with this band, mostly because he was sent to get them.
Fantastic. And we have obviously our two players who are not here today, Cass and Laura, who play the role of Agnes, the fortune-telling psychic, and Alizaro, the delivery awakened secretary bird. So they're not here today. Cool. Now, before we kick off, we have one last person to thank, and that is, of course, our lovely and amazing audience members. Thank you all for your continued support and contributions to the channel and to the stream. It's always a great appreciation, and as such, we invite you to come behind the GM screen to have a little bit of fun with us and play around with our game while we are live, because that's a fun thing to do. Why watch these things and just be so disconnected? We love chat, and we love playing around with you guys. So, a number of ways you can influence the game. First of all, just by watching the show, you can earn channel points that can be used at any point in time to influence the game. These can be used for inspiration, insight bonuses, wandering bosses, wandering bosses, divine intervention, divine healing, and so much more. So go check those out because, subscribers, you earn channel points a little bit quicker, so go check that out. Then we have, of course, monetary donations that go towards the DAG survival check for the month, which help me pay my bills and, feed my addictions and stuff like that. As many of you now know, my new thing is I'm setting up a program. Oh, I'm not setting up a program, should I say? A young person is setting up a program at the youth center for Warhammer, which means I am now getting into Warhammer, which means I'm dealing with that right now. So that's among the many things that I'm getting right now. And you know what? It made me appreciate how cheap Malifaux was. If that says anything. But anyway, I digress. So these monetary donations have more tangible effects effects on the game as you play. First of all, for $5, you can provide a player of your choosing a red mark, or you can provide me a purple mark. These are hero points and jinx points. Hero points are used by players to stave off death, petition the DM for stuff that isn't in the rules, and roll with advantage. Jinx points are used by the GM to counteract hero points, make bad guys roll with advantage, or complicate things ever so slightly. For $10, I will draw from one of two decks of cards I have in front of me. The first deck is a deck of plot twists and flashbacks, which are inspired for story purposes. So I'll draw 3 cards, you will pick one, and then I will incorporate said story plot twist into the game as best I can. We do have one still active from last week, which of course is a cherished gift, which is still in play, so we're bringing that forward to this week. Then we have then we have a $20 donation, which of course is the coveted golden natural 20, which of course counts as a nat 20 for my players. A critical success, one that helps my players bring to life some of their most cockamamie schemes. It's a really, really good way to work on that. You can also give a nat 20 to me if you really feel like it. Just saying, put it out there. You just, slip one to Dag. It's fine. No one will notice. Then we have our $50 donation, where there are 3 rewards for the $50 tier. You can either increase the difficulty of a challenge, making a boss catastrophically more difficult. This will increase their power, their strength, change the terrain, change the parameters of victory, a whole bunch of cool stuff there. The second reward is a draw from the Harrow deck. So I will basically open up a fortune-telling deck. The players will draw 1 card. From there, the entire group will get a boost based on whichever card they draw. And if they fulfill the prophecy or reject the prophecy actively in the game, they will be treated as having critically succeeded in whatever it is they're trying to do. So yeah, some cool stuff there. Another $50 reward is, of course, the magic item to a player of your choice. You can provide an item, either a homebrew one that you designed, or you can give them something from their wish list, or you can ask me to make something up. A whole bunch of cool stuff there. Then lastly, we have our $100 secret menu item. Now, last week, we had an anonymous donation for the $100 donation, the secret menu item. So we have retroactively incorporated it into the group, which means the Sable Company Marines have been revived. So in Corvosa, there were once upon a time a mounted cavalry unit known as the Sable Company Marines, all of which who rode the backs of massive and incredible mounts that were part horse, part bird, known as hippogriffs. If you watch the Friday Seven Dooms of Sandpoint game, one of our players there is a former Sable Company Marine, because by canon rules or canon law, the Sable Company Marine were destroyed here in Corvosa at this time. However, because of that donation, not only have they been revived, but they've also been revived across all of my tables as well. So the Sable Company Marines are now back, which is amazing. So cool. So for today, the secret menu item, which is of course our $100 secret menu item, will be... Now, the Church of Asmodeus has been doing a bunch of different stuff here, all guided by the new devils that have arisen from the city and the town. As such, the Asmodean Temple is now no longer quite the safe haven it used to be, especially what with Holly being an Asmodean worshipper. This kind of presents kind of many obstacles. So, for the $100 secret menu item, Holly will be provided with a redemption quest, a potential to leave behind Asmodeus and either take on or adopt the guidance of a different god, one who may potentially help a little bit more with her vengeance against Puck, or to revert back to being a rogue, foregoing the powers of the clergy and instead reacquiring the powers of roguishness and potentially the powers of assassination. Make of that what you will. Okay, so that is our secret menu item for there. Cool. That's everything processed. We all good? Everyone happy? Yeah? Sweet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, without any further ado, let us dive back into today's session. All right. Just waiting for the music to kick in. There we go. All right. So, Corvosa, a city wrapped in turmoil, terror, and under the tyrannical rule of Queen Iliosa, a woman who rose to power after the mysterious death of her husband, the late emperor, establishing her own order at the hands of the Grey Maidens, her own personal guard, destabilizing the city by dissolving the Corvosan Guard, the Sable Company Marines, and bringing in outsiders such as the Hell Knights and more. Plague, pestilence, and conflict have pasted its name across the entire span of this city. Our heroes have quested long and hard to find a solution to dealing with this queen, who's gained some kind of mysterious power, one that even was able to rebuff even death. Even after being shot in the head with a crossbow, she was able to simply pull out the arrow and kill her would-be assailant. It was all too clear that some nefarious force had its hand in what was going on in Corvosa. Our heroes learned it was none other than the ancient, powerful, and deceased dragon Khazavron, who they believe whose essence manifested in the form of the crown of fangs, a crown made from the blood and bones of the dead dragon, imprisoning its spirit. Somehow, the queen must have gotten her hands on it, and now the dragon and its power bleed out into this world. After traveling to Belkzen, our heroes managed to find the old fortress where the original hero who slayed Khazavron still lay rested. Liberating the sword that was used to kill the dragon, our heroes returned to the city in a state worse than they had left it. And now, slowly but surely, they are beginning to make headway, slowly cutting down the Queen's allies, slowly causing the people who want to rebel to band together, to unify. But not all of the Queen's allies are so easily thrown. The Red Mantis Assassin, a zealotous cult of murderers, of killers, should I say, hired professional killers, have now set their sights firmly on our group. Led by a catfolk assassin who specializes in poison, our heroes were attacked in the middle of the night in their home at Zalara's mansion. Narrowly avoiding the poison gas, our heroes leapt into action, jumping into the streets, but were surrounded on all sides. Agnes and Alazaro, still suffering from the poison, have managed to retreat and disappear into the dark, promising to regroup with the others the moment they had time, while the others fled in various directions, attempting to try and outmaneuver their enemies. Unok, on his own, however, leapt from the second story of the building and decided to engage with Nesmith in a direct bout of martial prowess. And just as Nesmith seemed to claim the upper hand, there he is. Just as Nesmith seemed to claim the upper hand, suddenly an eruption from below the streets, one that is familiar to a few members of the group, as cobblestone and dirt explode from beneath the ground. Arising is the sound of a terrifying roar and the smell that honestly could send devils back to hell. It is none other than Pogo, the Otyugh, rising from the ground. Let's see if I can find, where is he? Otyugh, where are you? There we go. Haha. And there he is. Picture. All right, there we go. For my players. That is the creature that emerges from the ground. Now, some of you don't know who this is, so, I mean, react however you would. But this
That's a sewer puppy.
It is a sewer puppy. Yes, for those of you in the audience who don't know what this is an Otyugh. They are basically garbage and refuse eaters who communicate through foul smells. They are effectively bioorganic trash compactors, I guess is another way to describe it. Generally, if it eats people and fresh meat, it's usually by accident. And this is one that had been living beneath the streets of Corvosa for a while. Its name is Pogo. Some people who work in the sewers have met Pogo before, and yes, he is a bean. He is a sweet bean. All right. And of course, lastly, we have the secret menu item unlocked by none other than OG Lava Kitten. OG, you bloody legend, you. Thank you so much, and we will do that today, right now, soon, in a second. Okay.
Did you also see McClover's and Rykon's?
I did not. Let me have a look. Okay, so we have Dag with some Jinx points. Oh, Rykon. You spoil me, Rykon. Thank you, buddy.
You don't get spoiled enough for this game as of late.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, that's because I'm intentionally acting like an asshole, and then, people want to side with you guys. And that's what I like. I like it when my audience sides with my players. And McClover with a hero point for all present players. As always, greatly appreciated, my friend. So that is one for Ray. We have one for Dante. One for Unok. And one for Holly. There we go. So thank you so much for all your donations and for your continued support. You're all amazing. It's so good. Honestly, I love just the vibe that when the audience backs my players. It makes me feel good. All right. So the battle begins. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. Hopefully that'll... Nice! Alright, as the Otyugh, as Pogo comes up to the surface, the red mantis turn their attention to the great creature. A large tendril reaches up onto one of the roofs where Holly was fighting before, and reaches up and sort of drags one of the red mantis down to the streets. It falls down and lands hard on the ground. Using their sawtooth sabers, they frantically try to fend off the creature. Nesmith is the only one who still has Unok, but Holly, I believe you are ground level, but still flying. Dante, you are over by, kind of between Unok and where Alizaro and Agnes ran off. And Ray, I believe that you are right next to one of the assassins near the actual hut, near the actual house itself.
And I believe I'm unconscious.
And you have just fallen unconscious. Okay. So going to initiative, we have. Oh, there we go. Dante.
Oh, goody. Oh boy, this is going to be some interesting things. Hold on, I need to turn Siren Escape down.
All right, so Ray is behind you unconscious. Unok's in front of you battling the boss. Holly is to one side, a short distance away, but not very far away at all.
Yep.
I think Unok's down, isn't it?
Sorry, what's that?
Is Unok down?
No,
I believe.
I'm.
No, Unok's not
I'm
down,
still
but
up.
yeah,
Oh,
but
okay,
Unok,
sorry.
yeah, Unok is getting
I believe I have like 14d6 persistent bleed or something like that. I know it was a
Oh,
massive
God.
amount of bleed.
I don't think it was
It
that
was
much.
either bleed
No,
or
that got
poison.
healed. That guy, the bleed got healed recently.
Yes.
Well, that was yeah, you got divine
yeah,
heal,
that's right.
didn't you?
Oh
So
no, it was,
that
yeah,
auto
no, it was the
hit you, right?
poison blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had that poison healed up.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the only thing I could think of doing is to use sorry, I was also double checking some stuff on the thing. Dante is going to use elemental form. He's going to take 2 actions, then try to, and then become a air elemental. Becoming large, and then attempt to separate Unok and Nesmith from each other.
Okay. Your body begins to shift and change, transforming into a maelstrom of wind and air as you take on an elemental form. You reach forward with both of your arms and begin to try and draw Unok away. I need an athletics check in your new form against Nesmith. The target number you're looking for is 32.
Okay, I should be able to manage that with a attack modifier plus 23 on top of other things, which is my proficiency.
All right, and after this, Ray, you are on deck. And you are still bleeding.
And unconscious.
And unconscious.
And unconscious. So I'm just going to lie there and bleed all over the guy.
It does say that you do have some hit points, though. I don't know why.
No, it was from the gas. It wasn't. I
Oh,
didn't go
right.
down.
Yeah,
The
okay. Then
gas
you're,
is
yeah,
causing
yeah.
the
So you're,
gas.
you're unconscious. You'll bleed, but you won't die. Yeah. That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. With a
Okay, 53.
53. Dang. Do you have a plus 39 to your athletics? Jesus.
I get, because trained gives me plus 2 on top of my level, which is 14. I get plus 23 on the athletics.
Wait, how do you get a plus 23 from a 16?
elemental form.
So elemental form gives you a plus.
It gives me a flat 23.
So you have 23, not you add 16 to 23.
No, it gives me plus. It says that I'm trained, and then I get plus 23 modifier.
Yeah, so it is a plus 23 modifier, not.
Okay.
Yeah. Because 39 is like higher than most incredible DCs at this level.
Okay, then I definitely need to readjust other things as well. But yeah, let me just.
Yeah, it's saying that you're trained, so that if I tell you like, hey, you need to be a master or an expert in this, it'll tell you you can or can't. Okay, yeah.
I'll
See that?
just,
Yep.
redo that then.
Okay, cool. So let's go with that you've rolled a 14 because I don't mind that. 14 plus 23 is 37, which is still enough to pull Unok away. Unok, you are dragged away from Nesbit.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, Ray, unconscious, you begin to slip in and out of this kind of dreamlike state. The poison gas rolling around you now as it enters the streets from the city and the town. Let's see if you can stave off the bleeding. You cannot. You continue to bleed out on the road. You kind of feel yourself sort of slowly getting more and more dizzy. You have a vision, and we're going to use this to develop some backstory here. What was your homeland or hometown like?
Oh. Sorry, it caught me off guard. It's been so long since I thought about it. I need to remember that. Give me a sec. I mean, he grew up somewhat as part of a traveling circus, actually. His parents were involved in it, and he was originally trained as an acrobat. So he lived in a lot of different places, but the circus was the home as it moved around.
Okay. While you are unconscious, you kind of get those familiar smells from your home, like, you know, the popcorn, the cotton candy, the peanuts. You know, you kind of like have these very familiar scents. You have these things, kind of almost like something is trying to call you home as you lay there, slowly dying. Agnes and Alizaro are on the run, so we're going to just remove them from the initiative board for today. Holly, we're up to you. Your wounds are still quite fresh as well, having been slashed at from the assassin above.
Okay. So what I want to do is cast the touch level of heal on Ray, pick him up, and just fly away.
Okay.
Because I'm an
So you're going to use one action to move over to Ray, one action to heal. So that's a D8 plus your level, I believe.
Let's see.
Or it might just be a D8. Actually, it's probably just a D8. Plus however many a D8 for every level of spell that you're using for it.
Actually, it's 3d8.
If you're using it as a level 3 spell.
Well, I've got two. I've got one that's 3d8 and one that's d8 plus 24.
That'd be if you used it as a ray.
Oh, got it. Okay, so then it's just, 3d8.
Okay. So 3d8. So Holly, you lay your hand on Ray. Ray is still unconscious, but healing, and you are no longer bleeding, which is important.
Yes.
Okay. And then with your last action, you are going to pick up Ray, hiking him onto your shoulder. I need a fortitude save as your turn ends, and you are now within the gas as well.
Okay. And can I also yell "Good boy, Pogo"?
You may.
Okay.
Pogo recognizes your voice, and you watch him do this little tippity-tip dance with his feet.
Yeah. Good boy,
Can we
Pogo.
still haste it? Didn't Dante cast haste
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
or
that's
whatever
right.
on?
I actually forgot about that.
It's true. All right, in which case you both of I mean it's really only been Dante.
Ray failed, so he only had so he doesn't have the
Right.
extra one.
Okay. In which case, Holly, then yes, forget the fort save. You can move back out of the gas, with Ray in tow. As you do so, are you heading towards where Agnes and Alizara went, or are you going a different direction? Because Agnes and Alizara had some people on their tail as well. So if those people turn around, they're going to run straight into you.
We're all going to the same place, but I think ideally we would like to take different directions to go there.
Okay,
And
not a
since
problem.
on land, I would like to go overland, but not, directly in the path of Red Mantis on the rooftops.
Sure, not a problem. You begin to try and fly upwards. Now, flying with another creature is very hard for a person of your size, especially one wearing armor the way that Ray is. So I'm going to get you to
But
make What?
I'm an Aranese right now, so I'm big.
Oh, that's right, you're an Aranese. That's right, I did forget that you had transformed into a fallen angel. Then yes, you have no problem because Ray is actually a small creature. So you grabbed him and up you go. All right, which brings us to Unok. Unok has been pulled to safety by Dante's wind elemental form.
That is true. Do I see the big thing exploding from the sewer or hear it?
No, you completely don't hear it. It destroyed half the street and came out and roared and has been attacking the other Red Mantis, but you don't notice at all.
I didn't know how far away I was. From
I'm lying. Yes, you do see.
I could tell by
Could you?
the sarcastic tone. I don't think I can just end my rage, can I?
I believe.
Pretty sure it
No, you
specifies.
can't.
Yeah, I believe.
You have to be unconscious or out of combat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to do what I want to do without it being dumb sounding. If that
Well,
Okay,
tell me.
so
Tell me what you want to do.
what I would like to do is after hearing and seeing the giant thing explode from the sewer, Unok will take a look at himself, how he's beat to shit. Take a look at Nesmith, realize that he is just slightly outclassed, and basically go, what do you say we call this a draw for now?
Sorry, is that what you're doing or what you're asking how to do?
Well, that's like, yeah, how to do.
How do you do this? Let me ask you something, just in general. What does Unok think is happening?
All he knows is that he was woken up.
Mm-hmm.
There was another attack.
Mm-hmm.
More gassy mist and then he jumps out a window, sees this random dude just standing there staring as everything's happening, and instantly went into attack mode, believing that
Okay.
he was
Cool. So, in this regard, Unok does not believe. Okay, here's the thing. Number one is you don't believe you're in a duel. You don't believe you're being challenged by anyone. Secondly is I don't know if Unok even interprets the fact that his life is in danger. Because here's the skinny. You're not in a duel. no one came up to you and challenged you, or, you know, this is not a fight that has started. This person is here to kill you. This person is here to assassinate you. There is no fighting in this. His method of delivery of your death is to poison you while you slept, so you simply never woke up. The concept that is how death is how death is about to be administered to you. Unok, I guess, in that moment of like, this has now been fought to a draw, I think rather than sort of that interpretation, even amongst the rage, even amongst the battle, Unok probably recognizes that his life is in danger. And I think more important than sort of being like the shaking fist and aha as you're running to safety, I think it'd be more imperative, what does Unok actually feel? Feeling as though his life is in peril right this second. By someone who is not going to kick your shins, who is not going to basically just come and butt heads with you, but someone who is absolutely comfortable and willing to watch your life expire like a candle being blown out while you sleep.
That's a lot for me to even, like, I genuinely, like,
it's a lot. Oh no, absolutely. Because the thing is I feel as though Unok is trying to exist in his own space. His own space is quite simple. Anything I don't like, I hit. I don't need to know your motivation. I don't need to know your reasons. I don't need to know what you're doing. I am bigger. I am stronger. I will hit you and I will win. Now, when that doesn't happen, then as per most, you know, kind of, and I mean this because I can't think of another word for it, in the case of most thick-headed people, when they meet an opposing force that is greater than them, the first thing they do is they acknowledge it. How do they acknowledge it? Well, can I push through? Do I need to sacrifice my life here? Do I retreat? Do I swallow my pride and save my own life? Because that's a different priority altogether, you know? And in this particular case, you jumped on this guy. You've been going toe-to-toe with him, and he has not run away. He has just been meeting you with the edge of his blade, and your friends are dying around you. Not in a not in a way that you recognize either. Not by fire, not by lightning, not by claw, tooth, or fang, but Ray simply breathed in some of the poison and has gone down. Holly is cut to ribbons and blood is pouring in buckets out of their body, as was yours had Dante not pulled you out. So this style of fighting, this method of fighting is alien to Unok. So I guess, like I said, my curious question here is this is not a manner in which Unok is familiar with fighting. So what would Unok's reaction be? Would it be to, you know, claim a draw on a battle that was never started? Or what would his actual reaction be to this individual and this alien fighting style?
see, part of me wants Unok to pull back and actually retreat, but like in the roleplay aspect of it, for Unok, who is a very proud person, he would view retreating as cowardice to himself.
Sure.
So he doesn't want to be seen as a coward, but he knows that with how this guy fights, he's not gonna survive, and neither will his friends.
All right. In which case, what we're going to do is we're going to rely on the meta. And this is actually a really good opportunity for me to talk to everyone about good meta. Unok wants to build this character in this particular... Oh, sorry, Marcus wants to build the character in this particular way. Unok is proud and stubborn. Unok wants to throw his life away here because Unok cannot fathom a world in which he would retreat, as it would be an act of cowardice. So, In which case, we then turn to the players. If I may, Marcus, speak on your behalf here. Unok wants to continue to do battle, but I, Marcus, want to facilitate him running away. Dante, you're the only one who's here. Is there something you could do to, like, help out with that? Like, realizing that Unok is struggling, maybe dose him with that unconsciousness drug, and then, like, drag Unok away?
How would I go about even dosing him?
Well, you're an air elemental, right?
No, yeah.
So if you bring some of the gas that's coming out of the building into your person while Unok is like grabbed by you, you could use that to force him. In which case, Unok, you as a player can relent on the saving throw. Then you fall unconscious. Dante pulls you away.
Yeah.
Would that be okay with you, Rykon?
Yeah. That works
Great.
for me.
Fantastic. So this is what we call the positive meta. This is where we're talking above the table because we want to tell the right story. So Unok, at this point, you are being grappled. You are being pulled back by Dante. So as far as fighting goes, you can still fight to try and break free of Dante, or you could try to engage this guy in a different way, like yelling or shouting, At this point, you want to not necessarily fight with everything you have to break free of Dante. If you have something you can do from range to, like throw a spear or whatever, great, fantastic. That also works too,
Yeah. I mean, I do have a spear that I can throw.
Sure, there you go.
And I don't really have to worry about it going away from me.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess while he's being pulled away, he'll just like I'm only gonna use one action this turn to just throw it, to kind of play into the fact that Unok's like weakened at this point. So I don't want to use like all 3 attacks.
Sure. Yep.
So yeah, he's just gonna weakenedly, if that's a word, chuck his spear.
All right, very well. Make your attack as you throw your spear across towards. Yeah, that's probably not going to do it.
I mean, it fits though.
It does. Yeah, no, the spear sort of drops to the side as you struggle to strike at him. Fatigued, worn, and still kind of like suffering from many of your wounds. Unok, do you say anything to Dante?
Oh, he's gonna groggily, like with his blood-filled mouth. I can take him.
Need to go.
Cool.
We can't stay here.
All right, brilliant. All right, moving back to the Red Mantis now. Pogo is attacking all of them with tendrils and gnashing teeth. Some of them are slashing and cutting into Pogo with their blades. But Pogo is quite a large creature, so, again, these guys are not doing overly well. One of the Red Mantis, the Conspirator, is going to throw a shuriken at Holly in order to try and bring them down. With a critical hit, Holly, your wings are cut. You take 17 points of damage. And I just need to read what this effect is. Right burn resin. Okay, cool. All right. So as your wings are cut, I need you to make an athletics check as you suddenly start to fly a little bit out of control. See if you crash or land in the building. Nice. What level are you guys? You guys are 14, 15?
14.
14. All right. Unfortunately, you needed a 32 on that one.
I will re-roll that.
All right, hero point it is.
I have one left. If I roll a natural one, it automatically turns into a nat 20. It's my last one.
Okay. Done and done. And there's a reason we gave you these, and you know, like that's what they're for. So as you manage to correct yourself, you manage to just narrowly avoid crashing into the building. However, your wings are now stained bright green, and you seem to leave these drips of bioluminescence as you are flying.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay. That's all he does. Then we go to Nesmit. Nesmit, seeing what is happening. Nesmit eyeballs Unok and uses Hunter's Mark. As he does so with his second action, he pulls out what looks to be a crossbow. He begins to take aim, and as he does so, you watch as his cat eye focuses and tries to hit among the swirling maelstrom of wind that tussles the arrow as he fires it towards Unok. Thankfully, Dante's winds carry the bolt out into the distance. And you watch as he just sort of like quite angrily and very perturbed sort of goes to reload and the next bolt into the crossbow that he's got. All right, Dante, you currently have Unok, but Unok is struggling. He is saying that he can take on this guy, but I mean, red alert, you know.
Oh,
Can I ask a question above the table?
Yeah, please, by all means.
yeah.
You know, this is just in the context of what happened at the last one. You know, if Dante was sucking gas into the stuff and he's swirling around, could he hit Nesmit with it at the same time? And would it have any impact?
Now, here's the thing. I mean, as your theoretical question, theoretically, yes. However, it will take actions to do so, and if it fails, well, you know, that's the risk you take. Also,
So
whether or
running
not
is a
Nesmit,
much better idea.
yeah, whether or not Nesmit will also suffer from his own poisons or not. There's a million different factors here.
Yeah.
A good question, and obviously always a welcomed one.
Yeah. Just curious.
Dante.
Okay.
Sort of like yeah.
No, that's good. How much move speed would I actually have? I have a 80-foot fly speed as I'm.
Okay, so you would need to move into the gas, dragging Unok, so you need an athletics check. Unok, what's your fortitude?
It is plus 27.
Okay, so you need a 37 on your athletics to pull Unok into the gas. After which you can
Alright.
carry him normally.
Okay. Then we will attempt to do so.
And you're a large creature, aren't you?
Yeah.
You'll get a +2 bonus based on your size. Oh, nice. Beautiful. All right. Unok is dragged into the gas. It begins to merge with your swirling vortex, and Unok, you end up breathing this gas in. Are you relenting on your fortitude save?
I am indeed.
All right. As you relent on that save, you pass out. And Dante, with no resistance, you are now able to fly the rest of your movement. And honestly, at 80-foot fly speed, no one was going to keep up with you.
Yeah, and then not to
Holly
mention the hasted on top of that.
and the haste on top of that. Holly and Ray, the same goes for you guys as you separate outwards. Pogo is there fighting desperately, but Nesmith watches as you all disappear. The battle is over, at least for the time being. Our heroes have managed to evade the Red Mantis assassin. Now, chat. I'm going to roll a percentage die, and this is going to be whether or not Pogo will survive. With 6 assassins and Nesmith involved, the chances are not good. There is a 30% chance that Pogo will live, which means if he rolls between 70 and 100, Pogo will manage to live and escape to fight another day. Any lower, however, and unfortunately, Pogo will not be seen further in this adventure. With a 52, as the assassins attempt to move after our heroes, Pogo manages to reach out and grab onto them, pulling them backwards, only to have the back legs sliced by 2 more assassins. Angrily, Pogo turns around, one of his eye stalks knocking some of the assassins into the sewers below. As he is rampaging, moving back and forth, the actual road itself begins to give way under the weight of Pogo, dragging Nesmith and the others down underneath the streets into the sewers. As Nesmith sort of straightens himself out, covered in basically just all manner of filth, the assassins get the signal to pull away as quickly as they can. They start to make distance, and at this stage, Pogo has taken far too much bleeding damage. Cuts cover Pogo's body as these attacks that were once so fierce slowly begin to tire. Realizing that the creature is no longer a threat, the assassins make their way into the sewers deeper, attempting to go and pursue their quarry once more. Nesmith, the only one who remains behind, looks at the noble beast and sees it as it begins to struggle. As Nesmith reaches into his pouch, he pulls out what looks to be a vial of red liquid, which he pours into his mouth. When he does so, Pogo lands on the ground, heavily hitting heavily hitting his side as he lands on his flank, breathing heavily and struggling. With a simple breath, Nesmith breathes down the mouth of this creature, and painlessly, within an instant, Pogo is not moving. Nesmith places a hand on the beast and takes a moment of reverence for this creature's sacrifice before turning his attention back to his duties. He'll actually take a moment and light a cigarette here. And I'm going to roll another percentage. There is a 1% chance that Nesmith will blow himself to kingdom come because of the methane down here. Nesmith's okay. I mean, if you rolled a 100, I was gonna yeah, okay, boom, he just goes away. No. All right. F in chats for Pogo. There we go. Now, as our heroes separate outwards and travel in different directions, where were you guys attempting to rendezvous after you guys escaped?
At the Red Mantis headquarters.
Okay.
The last
red-
place they'll look for us.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Okay. Now, the Red Mantis headquarters, I believe we said was somewhere in the Heights or in Midland somewhere?
Midland, I thought it was.
Yeah. Yep. So, yes, you were over here somewhere near the University District. All right. Gathering at the location that your intel has brought you in regards to the Red Mantis hideout. Taking a moment, our heroes catch their breath. Alazaro and Agnes have not regrouped with you as of yet. But Dante, with an unconscious Unok, manages to arrive in time. All right, the scene is yours.
Dante is going to assess Unok's wounds and then begin treating him.
Mm-hmm.
Considering, point-wise, he's about half dead.
Is Ray awake now?
In about half an hour, yes.
I think we're all gonna need some healing.
Holly's still bleeding, I think.
I am still bleeding, yes.
I'm gonna say that on en route
Oh.
you would have ended the bleeding. Otherwise, you will die before then.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I didn't,
Okay.
and part of it with Ray, I didn't know because he was sort of going in and out once he was away from the gas if he was going to come back or not quicker.
Yeah.
But half hour's fine.
Okay, we're gonna take a moment here. Don't worry about like the number crunching in terms of the healing and stuff like that. We're gonna take a moment to take a breath, assess, react to what has happened, talk to each other. Then, you know, if need be, we'll restore hit points and stuff. All right, but you have regrouped. Also, we have a donation from Steve. We have nat 20s to all the other players. And a hero point for Holly. Aww, that's super sweet. There's the hero point for Holly. A nat 20 for all the other players. Brilliant. There we go. And you know what? As a thank you reward just for being an awesome dude, Cookie, you are going to gain 2 hero points.
Why, thank you.
Yes. Won't happen all the time, but you know what?
No.
I appreciate
Well,
it, so there you
to be
go.
hon- to
Depends
be
on my
honest,
mood.
Frankly, I was thinking, yeah, no, I appreciate it. I was actually thinking that that Mally was going to need it to get Ray out of it.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, look, you know, yeah, the only yeah, no. That's pretty much the rule. The rule is you cannot donate for yourself, but you can donate to other people. And you know what? If you do something like donate to everyone in the group, I am more inclined to give you a little something, you know, because they were all nat 20s. I feel like, hey, let's load you up on some hero points. I think that's perfectly fine. That is very magnanimous of you, and very generous. So, you know, yeah, easy stuff. I think giving you a nat 20 is kind of like a little bit like, okay, maybe not. Maybe nat 20 is a bit powerful, but you know what? 2 hero points, I can do that. That's good. So, reacting, doing things. Go team.
Okay, so I think that we should not go in there ready to attack. I think we should go in there and talk to them. So the Red Mantis are in an agreement with the Queen, but what we know of the Red Mantis is that they're honorable and they keep their bargains, which is why they keep coming after us. But the Queen herself is not honorable. And okay, above table, I seem to recall, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that because Queen Iliosa killed her husband and should not be the ruler of Corvosa for that reason, the Red Mantis may look badly upon that.
Correct. That is because killing or just or removing a rightful heir is not the Red Mantis way.
Okay.
Now just to kind of like half step back. I appreciate that we're moving forward in a direction, because forward is always good. I do like to take some moment to be in the space that we're in and reflect as well, especially if we are retreating and stuff like that. It gives us a moment to have that acknowledgement of like, holy shit, we nearly died. You know what I mean? Rather than like, okay, guys, here's the game plan for next. Because then it feels like your lives weren't in danger. You guys weren't just running away from your, it's kind of more about, having that moment to go like, what the hell was that? Like, how did they know where we were? Did you see that guy with the fucking cat eyes and shit like that? Like, what do we even do against someone who can poison people? These acknowledgement things often lead to those kind of discussions. So we'll put a pin in that one, because I like the train of thought, and I definitely want to come back to it. But let's take a moment to acknowledge the injuries. Enjoy, embrace your fear and pain. Unok, you will also come back to consciousness around the same time as Ray does.
Sweet.
Okay. Ray, are you? Holly's just gonna kind of shake Ray's shoulder. Ray, are you okay? Ray.
What happens? Where are we?
You breathed in.
As he's trying to find his morning star.
No. You don't need that. We ran away, because you breathed in some of the smoke, and that smoke was really bad. So it's a good thing we got away. And I was bleeding a whole lot, and that was super bad. And there was a whole lot of blood. I think we painted that whole alley with blood. So that wasn't fun.
These guys are a lot nastier than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
Also, I thought we were going to run, and I was doing a rear guard kind of thing, but that didn't seem to happen.
As you say that, you kind of shoot a look to Unok as Unok's waking up.
Unok seemed to want to fight.
Fair
No,
enough. I think next time we may want to consider. We may want to do
Sorry,
a little more.
just
planning.
FYI, this is also above the table. Generally speaking, if I am segueing, I'll usually use the name of the person I'm segueing to, so that they have a chance to respond in the conversation. No, it's okay. It's a GM trick and tactic that allows a narrative flow that is very natural. But usually, it's because I know that otherwise there isn't necessarily going to be a gap, which is literally what just happened, for Unok to respond to things, unless the GM sort of puts a point and goes, haha, over here. So that's what those things are. Just for the future references and stuff like that, in case, we notice stuff like that. So once again, as Ray says this, he shoots a look in Unok's direction as Unok is waking up. Unok, you do hear this.
Unok just kind of rubs his head. What? Dude. What happened?
We got the pucky beaten out of us.
Yeah, no shit.
The plan was to run, Unok, not fight.
No one said anything about running.
Well, we did, and we actually set up a rendezvous point, which is here.
You guys just woke me up, said we were being attacked, and to jump out the window. You did not say anything about running. Not that that would have
Is it
mattered
possible
anyway.
that we talked about the running before we woke Unok up?
I don't think so.
I think that's above the table. Did we? I honestly don't remember.
No,
I don't remember
Actually,
either.
That was Ray actually asking the question.
Oh, was it? Oh,
going,
sorry.
Yeah, no, that was actually, maybe we should make a better point of making sure that people are fully awake when we make
Come
our
up with
plans.
plans and execute them. Yeah, true.
I think maybe Unaka's not the best when he wakes up.
I'm not either. So
For
Unak,
once, I'd like a group of people who are just really good morning people.
Unak will get himself fully like sat up. I'm assuming we're near a building, and he's just gonna kind of like sit against the building,
Sure.
kind of looking down and realizing that his hands are trembling as he thinks about the fight that he was just in.
You recall this individual. His weapon was not big. His arms, his shoulders, his muscles weren't either. Anytime you made a move to attack, he responded quickly and in kind. It was almost as if he was reading the way your body was moving and striking you, not with a slash or a blade that penetrated you, but with poisons that slowly drained you of your life, that slowly made you weaker every single second you were in that fight. The idea of losing in a battle of strength is kind of almost beyond Unok's ego to process. But what is terrifying is losing in a battle as your strength is stolen from you. That's something that's never happened before. To be robbed of your strength.
As Unog thinks on this, his fists kind of clench to kind of try to stop the shaking and trembling. And in just like a quick burst of frustration, he just says, "Ugh!" and slams his fist against the wall.
Una, you okay there, buddy?
We have fought dragons. We have fought several other monsters. We've fought a couple people. That wasn't... Whatever that assassin was, that's not a man.
Well, they're particularly skilled with how they kill people. It's kind of scary. Yeah. We really don't want to fight them.
At this point, can I get everyone except for Holly to make a perception check, please?
Natural 20.
Very nice.
negate.
No. Dante, you succeed as well. So Dante and Unok, as you were talking and as you're figuring things out, you notice something on the back of Holly's wings, because Holly is currently disguised or altered to resemble a tall humanoid woman with blackened wings. However, those wings are dripping with a bright bioluminescent green liquid.
Holly, are you all right?
I mean, I got cut up pretty bad. Why?
Your wings are, in a sense, glowing.
What?
Moving your wings around, you now get a better view of it, and sure enough, you can see where you've been cut deep by one of the shuriken slashes. Kind of like a dripping of this bright green seems to be running down your wings.
Oh, I don't care for that. Hang on. Holly's gonna change back into her fairy form.
You do so.
Does that fix the
Not at
part?
all.
Well, that didn't work.
But you're now a fairy again. However, at this point, from behind you, you hear a whistling. Emerging from the dark is Nesmith. You then realize your entire journey to the rendezvous point has left a trail of this bright green dripping bioluminescence. And Nesmith has followed it to your current location. I must say, this game of cat and mouse has been fun. But the sooner I can leave this godforsaken city, the better. I'm sorry that your deaths weren't as painless as I intended. But no matter. I've sent the others away. It's hard working with other members of the Assassins. It means that I can't use some of my better works without poisoning them. He rolls up his sleeve. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, hold up a second, Nesmith. What if you could leave right now without killing us and without actually breaking any contract? Because you are currently in a contract with someone that you should not be, because Queen Iliosa killed the rightful heir to the kingdom because she should not be queen at all.
He continues to approach as he says, I am not the Blood Mistress. I do not decide who lives and who dies. The contract is signed. The contract will be fulfilled in Akachek's name.
Okay, but could you maybe hold off a second and let us talk to the Blood Mistress? Because then we could solve it real quick right now and you wouldn't have to mess with anything.
Unfortunately, I am kind, but not so kind as to let my targets fool me with silvered words. I've killed plenty of fairies in my time, and all they tend to do is the same thing. Talk and talk. But I have just the thing for that. And he pulls out he pulls out something from his shirt, and it appears to be something that fills you with terror, Holly. It is a vial of bright silver liquid. What this is this is pure cold iron mixed into an agitate. This stuff is used like lime to dissolve fairies. This is the stuff that if fairies had like a mafia, this is the shit they'd use to get rid of bodies.
This is the fairy equivalent of dip.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's the fairy equivalent of the dip. Yes, 100%.
Dip from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Ah, love that.
Such a good movie.
Now, as this happens, he he's moving very scarily and imposingly. Dante, Ray, and Unok, do you guys do anything? Holly's the only one speaking at the moment, but if you guys want to do something, now is the time.
Ray is on his feet and shields up, trying to get it in front of Holly.
All right, you move before Holly. Now, keeping in mind, I'm just going to add, you guys are fatigued from the poison. All right, Unok, what about you?
Unok is gonna be standing up and leaning against the building for support. With his spear in his other hand, but he is going to, like, his spear hand's gonna be just trembling, and he's gonna be like trying to get his breath under control from just trying not to freak out, because he does not want to re-engage in combat with this monster.
All right. And Rykon.
Dante is going to move to at least get himself in between all of them. And then
All right.
he's going to speak up. I managed to witness the king's death personally. When it happens, it's not much of a lie to try and talk to the leader of the Red Mantis.
All right. The Blood Mistress does not sully herself with such tasks. Even from the beginning, this particular job was an anomaly. First working with that vampire to create his plague, and now cleaning up these loose ends. I tire. Nothing short of words from my god will stay my hand. And you watch as he disappears into a cloud of black fog and appears next to Holly, grabbing the back of your hair and pulling your hair back with the vial in his hand as he is preparing to pour it down your throat. In that moment, however, he stops as both you and Nesmith disappear. You look around and you find yourself in an unfamiliar setting. You find yourself in a deep, vast jungle. One moment while I...
Dun dun dun.
No, that's not it.
Random laser shot sound.
I know. Yep, good. All right, so as Nesbitt holds Holly's hair and that vial is inches away, he stops for a moment. What sorcery is this? What have you done? Speak, trickster!
It's not me. I don't know where the hell we are.
You hear large sort of movement in the jungle, birds flying from the trees as something approaches. He releases your hair and sort of prepares, pulling out his poison-tipped sword again. Then emerging from the forest is what appears to be this humongous red, almost like, geez, how do I even describe it? It's like almost like a giant serpent made of stone suddenly appears. It has no head. It looks like, oh, maybe the tip of the tail of this kind of serpentine figure begins to move past you on one side, then past you on another. Suddenly, above you, the light goes dim. You no longer can see the sky. Because above you, you see a massive praying mantis. As the mantis looks down, it tilts its head left and right. You see Nesmith's ears just flatten almost immediately. He stumbles backwards. He just falls into the mud, both hands sort of splayed behind him, almost like looking for a way to retreat back. But with this thing being so large, even just looking at it, he's almost looking straight up. He's not even looking backwards at this point, just to try and take in the full visage and scope of this colossal beast. Holly, what are you doing?
I'm just kind of looking between them and suddenly making the connection that that's a giant red mantis. And that's a red mantis assassin. And I'm a very, very tiny fairy that probably shouldn't be here, but I'm kind of afraid to move.
A voice penetrates your skull. It feels like someone has driven 1,000 needles into your mind. Nesmith kind of clings to his head as the same experience happens to him. From within, a voice speaks. You say the red mantis has been deceived.
Yes, sir. But I don't...
Prove it.
Well, the queen killed her husband, and he was the rightful ruler, and the queen has been taken over by the dragon.
Yeah, you're jumbling ideas. Pick a lane.
The queen killed her rightful husband so she could take over, and she's using the red mantis to solidify her hold on the city. So
No. I need an idea. If you keep giving me like 5 or 6 of them, he's gonna not understand you, and he's gonna, clear and concise.
Okay.
He's asked very simply, prove this. You've said your thing. He said, prove it.
We don't have the proof yet, do we?
You don't. I mean, you have nothing tangible on your person at the moment, so this is where that conversation needs to go.
I do not currently have the proof, but I can get it.
The creature leans in down, even as it does so. It's kind of like almost the size of a building, just its head. How?
We are going to get the proof in the castle, but we have to have the assassins not try to kill us so we can get the proof. So we just need your assassins to back off so we can get the proof.
The breath of the Red Mantis assassin carries this kind of almost like, it literally just smells like that metallic tang of blood just in your mouth and in your throat just from being in proximity to this creature. The Red Mantis shall not give up its quarry. Choose. Die now at the hands of the Mantis assassins. Fight for your lives. Or take my mark. You succeed. You take on the favor of Akachek. Fail, and I will come for your soul myself.
Okay, above table.
Yep.
Is this how I get out of the thumb of Asmodeus?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so then I want to take the mark.
Yep. So basically, he will sever your connection to Asmodeus forcefully. Now, you can choose to, as character, embrace that forcefully or not. And when this is all said and done, you are going to be marked by Akachek, which means that when we come back next week, either you can still be a cleric, but now you worship Akachek. Oh, I say worship. You are kind of an involuntary chosen one. Or you can revert your levels back to being a rogue with assassin levels.
Okay.
It's up to you. We'll have a week to discuss that at length. But this is that moment of decision, which of course comes courtesy of OG Lava Kitten. You lovely, lovely sweet bean. Thank you so much. Big love, OG. Mwah. So, yes. So he's offered you. Take my mark, find the proof. If you can prove that the Red Mantis have been led astray, then yes. If you don't, then he's going to rip your soul into pieces.
Asmodeus is already going to do that anyway, so we're good to go. Might as well have the Mantis do it. Okay, we're good. Okay, I will take your mark, and I will prove that the Red Mantis was led astray by Queen Iliosa.
He looks to you and then looks to Nesmit. Nesmit, at this point, Nesmit starts to lose some of his fur, just out of stress. The Mantis turns and says, "Bear witness. My word is now marked upon your flesh. My will be done by you on the mortal plane. Failure to do so will have dire consequences." Yes, sir. My lord. I am not worthy of bearing witness upon your great form. I hope that my offerings of blood have... Silence! I said bear witness, not speak. Nesmit's hands begin to shake. He watches as a giant claw comes down towards you, Holly. And as it does so, it, for some reason, despite it being literally the size of a fucking tower, the tip of the blade pulls aside your sort of leather undershirt kind of thing, and a scratch appears in this almost X formation. It grows gnarly and jagged, and poison almost immediately seals the wound into this blackened mark. It bears the symbol of Akachek. He watches in that moment. His whole body seems to disappear, transforming into a red mist that then fills the jungle. As the smoke overwhelms you, you are back in the alleyway. Nesmith having you by the hair, pulling your hair back with the vial of liquid cold iron in his hand, ready to pour it on you. Your teammates turn suddenly, eager and ready to kind of like tackle this guy. But you can see Unok, Dante, and Ray in that instant. Nesmith, though he has the upper hand here, drops the vial and lets Holly go. Like the just the sound of that glass breaking on the ground is enough to stop everyone for a brief moment. Holly, you feel that fresh pain on your chest. Nesmith says, What manner of trickery is this? This is fey magic. It has to be.
Nesmith, if I were you, I would not double think that, because that was scary, and I think he would probably eat your soul, because this hurts. And she's gonna pull her undershirt to the side to show the mark.
Ray, Dante, and Unok, you suddenly see this fresh mark on Holly's chest. It is the same mark that all the Red Mantis have in terms of like their holy symbol. Nesmith immediately drops his weapon, like just straight up drops it on the ground.
What the hell?
I'll explain later.
What the hell, indeed? Ha ha ha.
Ray puts his foot on the sword, on the hilt. Like I'm going to stand on that.
If you decide to act aggressive, then my only recourse in a narrative is to act aggressive.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not going to hit him. I'm just going to make sure he
Does
can't
your
pick it up
narrative...
again.
Let's hone those narrative senses,
Okay.
Steve. Do you feel as though stepping on the sword is going to make you more or less safe?
He doesn't like
Doing
weapons
what
being
he's
around.
done.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I get it. That for me reads as a mechanical benefit, basically trying to use a mechanic to seize an advantage should things take a turn. It is a smart move. Narrative-wise, remembering that you are a person in this space, it suddenly presents you as someone who is acting on threat or acting as a combatant, which of course then means reacting with other members as though you were a combatant. So even if people, which by the way is about to happen, you find yourself suddenly surrounded by red mantis from the on the ceiling from behind, the ones that were chasing you before, they suddenly surround this alleyway prepared to attack you. In that instant, Nesmith tells them to hold. The red mantis all stop. She has seen our Lord. The Lord has placed a task upon her and her allies. She must prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that a rightful ruler was deposed by the unworthy. If she can do so, then the contract is void. Our Lord has given 24 hours. The execution order will be stayed. But Nesmith, what of... I do not care of the Queen, nor of her vampire pet. Just rest assured, should you not find the evidence you seek, Akachek's hand will come for you. He then gestures to the red mantis, who all begin to dissipate. He picks up his weapon, sheathes it, and leaves. For the time being, however, you have defeated the Red Mantis assassin. They will not be lending aid to Queen Iliosa for the next 24 hours. Now, this could be two things. One is if you go and attack Queen Iliosa within 24 hours, the Red Mantis are no longer considered allies. Or you go and investigate or find that proof that you needed of the Queen's betrayal of the Emperor, and that would then serve to prove to them and get the Red Mantis to leave entirely. Now, here's the thing as well. Number one, thinking, my brain, here we go. So, number one, when she says the rightful heir, keeping in mind regicide is a thing. So unfortunately, because she is queen and she was married before she killed the king, she is entitled to the throne. What you need to prove is Khazavron, who has no claim to the throne, influenced Iliosa to kill the king. That's the proof you're looking for. So don't make the mistake of trying to find out, like, yeah, we know the queen had the king ordered to death, but you need to prove the dragon was the one who influenced it, which shouldn't be too hard. Secondly, before Nesmith leaves, Nesmith will provide you with something. He leaves something at the end of the alleyway before leaving and heading off with the Red Mantis. It is a collar. The collar reads Pogo.
Poor Pogo.
Poor Pogo, indeed.
Holly's gonna
Who was
take the
Pogo?
collar.
Yep, you can take the call. You
Ray
can
never,
take the call.
Ray never knew who Pogo was. So.
No, you wouldn't have.
Holly's gonna take the collar and sadly retell the story of how the party met Pogo.
Yep, the friendly trash demon, trash monster, who was upset because people were like dumping plague corpses into the sewers. It jumped out of the sewers, and I think didn't it eat like a bunch of zombies for you guys?
Yeah, he was super nice for us.
Yeah, he during a zombie apocalypse, basically he showed up and ate a bunch of zombies. Yeah. So that is the cherished gift. Now I will give you guys a bonus here. This is a bonus thing for later on for everyone. At the end of the game, at the end of the campaign, once everything is said and done, our party will actually discover that there are 3 baby Otugs still living in the sewers beneath Corvosa. And they're fine. They're not like motherly dependent. They're just a trio. Memories of Pogo and carried on in spirit. So there you go. And Pogo was a girl, by the way. So yeah, baby Pogos. Cool. Because I don't, I mean, while it's sad that we lost Pogo, I didn't want to like kind of be like, ha 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 ha, it's now gone and that's sad. It's like, well, now there are little baby ones that we can wait and see grow up and, have maybe more adventures when we come back. So there you go. Good job, everyone. You have effectively removed the Red Mantis from play. And guess what that means? You guys level up.
We get a
Woo!
point.
Woo!
All right.
Wasn't expecting that.
There you go. Yeah, you guys get to level.
Do we
So
get any reputation points for this? Sorry.
Reputation points? No, not yet, because the Red Mantis are an unknown factor. So you don't earn any reputation for having gotten rid of them. What you do get is you get an advantage when you go and raid the place, because this is not because remember, you're also trying to sway public opinion, so the Red Mantis aren't leaving. They're still present and stuff. Which I think leaves the Asmodeans, which also include the Hell Knights, by the way. So if you get rid of the Asmodeans, the Hell Knights will also fall in suit. And then find the big Blood Mage guy who is apparently the new Seneschal. Get rid of him. Find the fake queen. Get rid of her. And then you can take down the queen, because you'll have pretty much everything.
Admit what they've done.
Yeah. Alternatively, you guys can just, raid the castle and try for broke and see what you can do with the reputation you have. It's up to you. How much you want to gain, how much you want to invest in it.
Let's not leave Corvosa a fiery burning mess behind us. We haven't really murder hoboed yet, so let's not.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. And you will have help, though. You will have help. Just a reminder for everyone as well, if we get a chance to have you guys go back to the rebels and sort of give them a mission update, remind me about this, because I'm actually going to, actually, he's here in chat. There you go. I was potentially going to ask Matt if he might be available to come join us for one of our Monday games as a character. So maybe we'll see. So there we go. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming and watching. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Michael. I'm the Deadly Gamer. This is my place. This is my face. You can find it here a number of times during the week. We will be back on Wednesday for Reign of Winter with another group of amazing people. So be sure to stay tuned for that. In the meantime, however, guys, stay safe, stay wonderful, be kind to each other, because why the fuck not is free. And until we meet again, game hard or die trying. Good night, folks.
Bye-bye.